How is this kid radicalized online? How do we go about finding these lone wolf incel figures before the next tragedy strikes while balancing freedom on the internet? It's a tricky, tricky question. So joining us to answer some of these is former State Department official, cybersecurity expert, and founder of the Foundation for Freedom Online, Mike Benz. Mike, what a pleasure to have you on.
Likewise. Great to talk today.
You're able to more technically put into words how I think most of us feel. We're looking at this face of this alleged assassin, and it's hard to believe that he has zero digital footprint or next to zero digital footprint. Normally people of this type of craziness have some hint somewhere on the internet. What gives?
Well, absolutely does. I mean, this is one of these things where even just on the panel what you just put, that he had a Discord account. The thing you talk about on Discord is what's happening on Reddit and what's happening on X and what's happening on the internet. I mean, that is what Discord effectively does. Discord is effectively a gaming server to be able to interact with other people online. That's what the whole platform exists for. We know that the FBI was at the shooter's house for about 4 hours before they disclosed the name, late in the night at about 2 a.m. And it seems to me highly likely that they were seizing all of the electronics. By the way, if they were in that person's house, that means that they have that person's IP address where they were routing in from, and should theoretically be able to therefore tell us the entire internet history, all the way down to the shooter's search history if they have his IP address. Now, I'm not advocating that things of that minute a detail would be disclosed in such a case, but absolutely the social media accounts. You know, the crowd is a far better investigator than the cops. We know this because the cops, so to speak, the FBI, asked the crowd for help to identify January 6th suspects. They turned to Capitol hunters, to sedition hunters, to Unicorn Riot, to a dozen different Antifa groups to identify and do the sort of forensic investigation that federal investigators feel understaffed to do, or to even to be able to follow hints and leads that the internet can dig up because of the ability to have so many different researchers pursue rabbit holes essentially in detail. But you know, the FBI is where evidence goes to die. Just as they have not disclosed a single video file of the January 6th pipe bomber since September 2021. We are coming up now on 3 years since a single video file of the guy who walked around on foot for 90 minutes through the fortress of the Capitol home turf of the national security state, Capitol Hill, for 90 minutes, talking on a cell phone. The FBI then told us that he and he alone this pipe bomber was the only person whose cell phone data was corrupted, as opposed to the fact that they were able to geofence to target 1,500 different January 6 folks. But by the way, who was in charge of securing the DNC building that Kamala Harris arrived at the morning of January 6 ahead of time? It was the Secret Service. And what happened to the Secret Service's cell phone records when they were subpoenaed by Jim Jordan? They were all deleted. So DHS and the Secret Service, they deleted the cell phones of the Secret Service when they were the ones who were supposed to have caught the January 6th pipe bomber. They were supposed to have cased the place out. They missed a pipe bomb sitting on the park bench to the entrance of the building. They didn't even disclose the remainder of the DNC. Right now, if there are any members of Congress, any members of the Oversight Committee or Judiciary Committee listening to us, if you can subpoena the chain of custody for the missing January 6th pipe bomb DNC tape, they literally had a stationary camera of him approaching the park bench, but then they cut the camera off, the FBI did, right before he reaches into the bag to pull out the pipe bomb. So the fact that the FBI has magically stepped in and taken over a local Pennsylvania investigation and have effectively, I believe, are keeping his social media accounts effectively embargoed, and who knows if we will ever get them. God willing, we will. But this is the same FBI that is not disclosing the Biden-Hur tapes. You have the same Justice Department. The FBI is the intelligence arm of the Justice Department, and they told us that they weren't going to release the Hur tapes, defying a congressional subpoena because the internet might post misinformation about it. They did the same thing with the Covenant Killer shooting, and there's so much more here, but I'll pause.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.